Did she ever have contact with her family in America again?
No, no, her family absolutely disowned.
Pir Hidayat, how old was she?
And then,
Very young.
in London, she had to be the mother, not only the wife of Hazrat Inayat Khan, but the mother of the brothers. There were 3 brothers. No, at least 2. No, 2 to begin with, but 3 later. And hardly any possibility of communicating in English. He could hardly speak English in those days.
Did
And
she
then
feed them?
one-
Did she feed them and do their laundry?
Pardon me?
Did she feed them and do their laundry? And
But in those days, there was no wash machine. There was no fridge. There was, what was there? Nothing. There was,
they could not afford any help.
there was no money. There wasn't money. They went out from time to time to give a concert of Indian music, and there was a lot of starvation in those days. But she did it gladly. She was happy. But the sacrifice was tremendous. Here she had been the daughter of an extremely wealthy family. She came there to London where there was absolutely no financial help of any kind, and where they lived from day to day, because they only lived from the councils that were given from time to time. And of course, they only really fed on rice and tea for quite a long time. It's very important to tell this because it is a true story. I mean, it's, how would I say now? It's hardly possible to imagine the trouble, the suffering and the problems that both the mother and father went through in the first years. And then, of course, the troubles became even worse as the children were born, because, of course, more necessities, more worries. That's why sometimes I feel guilty for being a child, because I did cause, of course, more trouble.
Did you say something about the 1 pair of shoes? We've heard stories that in the wintertime there was only 1 pair of shoes. Shoes. That there were only 1 pair. Only 1 set of shoes. Is that a true story?
Let's not go into many details.
Let's stay with the mom.
I don't want to start. I don't want to do that.
So, Pir Hidayat,
Yeah.
the oldest sister, Nuria, was born in
Well,
Russia.
she was born in Moscow, yes.
So how did the family go from London to Moscow?
Well, by train. No planes.
I mean, the impulse came to go to Moscow, or invitation?
You see, they gave concerts, and of course, from time to time, common people came to those concerts and were very interested, and especially Russians. There were many Russians in those days in England, and some of them were quite well-to-do, and here, now you've caught me here because I don't exactly know the connection between London and Russia, but there must have been someone in London who was a friend of the son of Tolstoy, because when they came to Moscow, it was the son of Tolstoy who arranged a whole series of concerts for them, and that's where things became better. So it must have been some connection, but I can't tell you. I don't know. My father was extremely happy to be in Russia because the Russians are very, at least in those days, were very, very warm and very sweet. And,
Still are.
oh, they still are. He just loved Russia. He loved the Russian people, especially having been in England.
Did Begum Ameena change her dress and constantly wear a sari when you were at home?
No, she didn't constantly wear a sari, no. She only wore the sari at special occasions, you know, like Bilada Day and things like that, and birthdays and celebrations. And sometimes when guests were invited for the very simple meal, then she put this up.
And she makes it herself, she's obvious.
But she made her own
Yeah.
clothes, and she made the clothes of my father. My father wore the shavani, but not the Indian shavani, a combination which he himself designed. It's a combination between the Indian and the Iranian. You know very well the shavani of Hazrat Inayat Khan does not, is quite different to the Indian one and to the, yes, and I put this up again, I don't hear myself covered very well. Yes, and she also made the topies, the hat. Have you?
Topi is Urdu for hat, just so you know.
Of the hat.
Yeah, pictures.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And she made all the clothes for the children. I mean, she couldn't afford to buy clothes for the children. She made the clothes. But the extraordinary thing is that she never complained. It was just her happiness to do whatever she could for the family to survive as the best way possible.
What was she like as a person, or what were her qualities?
My mother,
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well-
What was she like?
first of all, what you don't know is that she did learn Indian music, and she did sing Indian music. She played the veena. There's a picture of her playing the veena.
Yeah.
We didn't know if it was just pose.
Yeah. And she was a poet. If ever you have the pleasure of seeing the book Once Upon a Time, there's a series of other poems in that book. And perhaps by reading them you might understand her better. Now there's another point that I think is important to mention. It is in the book. In 1926, but it's difficult for me to tell about this ceremony. You can read that in the book. I can't tell it. And I don't want to cry in front of you. But the true story is that she was initiated as Pirani. And I know that most Sufis don't know anything about it. But we have it in his own handwriting. And that handwriting is in that book. I think it's about time that it should be known that nobody else was ever made a Pirani.
How should we, what does that mean for us?
It means the feminine of Pir-O-Murshid. And of course, that title has never been given anymore. I feel very privileged to put this in words, although I have already put it in writing for some reason or other. this book out of, for some reason, just stays unknown. Like many things stay absolutely unknown. I don't want to say what are the reasons why the memory of my mother has never been exposed, but I know what the reasons are, but I will not say it. But there was a reason.